bookish friends, I hope you're well. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. It's time for another video. It's been quite a while since I've picked up to film. It's been a bit of a tough month, I'm not gonna lie. I've been sick twice already this month. My daughter's been sick. It's just been full on. It's been very busy, very crazy, very full on. By the way, I'm really sorry if you can hear the background noise, neighbours. I told you, every single time I go to film, people start screaming and shouting outside or upstairs. Anyway, we're going to carry on. I decided it's time to do another video. And this is a repeat video that I did last year, and this is self-destruct books. So last year I did a video where I said these 26 books will self-destruct in 12 months. It is now coming to the end of that 12 months. We are very, very close to the end of June. When I say close, I literally mean like three or 4 days away, something like that. And out of those 26, I only have one book left that I need to complete. I have started this. I don't think I'm going to finish it before the month is out, but because I've already started it, it's fine. I'm going to finish it when I can, and then it will probably be an unhaul after that. But out of the 26, I ended up unhauling 15 of them, most of those without even bothering to read, just because I kind of, beginning of this year, I kind of really sat down and became a little bit tough with my TBR, and kind of went through it all, and finally was in a frame of mind where I was like, I genuinely do not think I'm going to get to these books, or I don't think I'm going to enjoy these books. Whatever the reason, 15 of them I decided to unhaul. 7 of the original 26 I tried to read, wasn't enjoying, and I DNF'd. And once I complete this one, this will make 4 books that I actually completed from those original 26 from last year. And that's, I mean, it's terrible that I only completed 4 of them. But to be fair, this is the whole point of this video, because I now have 26 less books on my shelves that have probably been sitting there for years and years and whatever. So the video was a success. I think out of the ones I completed, 2 of them were only kind of like 3 stars. I think one was maybe 3.5. And I think the only one that I gave it a 4-star was the Chris Carter book that I read, which is part of a series, and I had a feeling it was part of a series, but it was like something like book 8 or 7 or 8 or something silly like that. But it didn't take away from the story. I think you can kind of maybe read them as standalones. So I did really enjoy that one, and I probably would like to pick up more by that author and in that particular series. But we're back again. I digress. I just go off on a tangent and then don't stop. We're back again to do another round of self-destruct books for the next 12 months. And I've picked a stack of books here that, yeah, I think they need to be on this list. So we've got a few to get through, so I'm just gonna crack on with them. Now this first little stack that I have here, these books are all actually part of my TBR Graveyard series that I was that I kind of tried to start, and I've had a little rethink about how I'm going to do that. And rather than do multiple episodes throughout the year, I'm probably going to just try and stick to one episode of that a year. Because these books are just kind of sitting there and they're not going anywhere. And the TBR graveyard is not really going down. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to pick these up and I'm going to put them on my self-destruct TBR. So the first one we have is The Black Book by James Patterson and David Ellis. Now, I believe this is the first book in a series. I think there's like 2 or maybe even 3 of these out now. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not actually really sure what this one's about, but we all know how much I love James Patterson. And they're always super fast paced and really great kind of like palette cleansers between some of the bigger books or the longer books or whatever. So that's the first one that we have on the TBR. Then we have The Echo Man by Sam Holland. It says he's copied the world's most evil killers. Now he's ready to outdo them all. Now I know that I'm probably going to really enjoy this, and this is definitely going to be up my street. Why I haven't read it, I have no idea. But this is also book 1 in a series, and I also own book 3. But yeah, I thought let me put this one on here because obviously it's been on the TBR for a while now, and I'm hoping that this is going to give me the motivation to read some of these books, and I'm hoping with this stack of books I'm going to have a little bit more success with completing more of them and enjoying more of the books. So that's book 2. Then book 3 we have The Shadow Friend by Alex North. I really like Alex North. The Whisper Man was absolutely fantastic. I've also read The Half Burnt House. I really enjoyed that one. And I'm just trying to get through all of Alex North's books. And this is one that obviously I haven't got to yet. It says, one of you died, one disappeared, now it's happening again. So the victim was your friend, so was the killer. So, oh, this sounds good. So I'm looking forward to this one. Then we have another James Patterson, and this one is James Patterson and Brendan Dubois. This one's called The Summer House, and it says 7 murder victims, 2 versions of the truth. It just says on the back, for 7 unsuspecting victims, death comes in the dark. Again, looking forward to this, fast paced. I'm looking forward to actually completing all of like I've only got a few James Pattersons left on my like sort of all the little standalone ones or the smaller series. I've got the big series still to get through, but I've only got a few left, so I'm looking forward to like just being done with them all, because I'll be quite proud of myself. Next we have The Mirror Man by Lars Kepler. Now this says, if you see his reflection, it's already too late. You'll never see him come in, but he's always watching, and if he chooses you, there's nowhere to hide. This looked really good, and I remember it sounding really good, and that was why I picked it up. And then I only realised recently that I think this is actually part of a series. Yes. There's quite a few, I think, by the looks of it. But looking forward to this one and getting this one done. And I've got a couple of these now on. I signed up for like BookBeat, just to try and give it a bit of a go, and it's okay so far. And I've got a few of these on there saved, so hopefully I can get through some of them by audiobooking them as well. And then the final one that's from the TBR Graveyard stack is Lockwood & Co. by Jonathan Stroud. This has been on a couple of TBRs, and I am actually genuinely excited to read this one. I wanted to read it last October and I just ran out of time. But yeah, again, this is the first book in a series, but I'm looking forward to actually delving into this one. And then the next stack, so these are all part of the Disney Twisted Tales, which is not technically a series. They're all literally just standalone books. You can read them in any order that you like. But I've kind of pretty much done them. I've been reading them for years now, and I've pretty much tried to do them in like publication order. That's kind of the way I've done it, mostly. But these are the ones that I now have left, and I've got, sorry, you can hear people shouting and singing out there. I'm glad they're having a good time. So I've got Unbirthday, which is by Liz Braswell. This was on one of my TBRs a few months ago, and you can see I did start it. I think I got like 30 something pages in, and then I put it down. And I just haven't got round to picking it back up again. So this is going on there because I wanted this to motivate me to actually finish these and get through them. Then these ones are all relatively new. Actually, let's go. So I also then they then started changing the designs. Why they do that, I don't know. But I've not kept any of these Disney Twisted Tales. I was collecting them at first, but I just decided I don't need them on my shelf. Like, most of them, I enjoy them. They normally get from me between a 3 to a 4 star, but I don't like absolutely love them. So I was like, I'm not going to keep them. So again, this is also another motivation to read them so I can get all these off of my shelf and I've got more shelf space. So the next one by Farah Rochon, I'm not sure how you say that, I'm very sorry, is Almost There, which is obviously, sorry, I should have said Unbirthday is the Alice in Wonderland Twisted Tale. This is the Princess and the Frog, Princess Tiana. It says, what if Tiana made a deal that changed everything? And these are always just a fun time, just looking at a completely different angle to these well-known and loved Disney, kind of Disney stories. Then the next one I have is by Mari Mancusi, and it's Sally's Lament, which is obviously a twisted tale on The Nightmare Before Christmas. And this says, what if Sally discovered Christmas Town instead of Jack? So we've got that one, and then some of these get super chunky. Another one by Farah Rochon, and this one is Fate Be Changed. Obviously this is a Brave retelling or twisted tale, and it says, what if the witch gave Merida a different spell? So again, that's another one to look forward to. And then the final one I got, this is again a relatively new one by Mari Mancusi, and this one is Princess of Thieves, and this is a Robin Hood twisted tale, and it says, what if Maid Marian was the real outlaw? So yeah, those are all my Disney twisted tales that I'm giving myself a year to get through, otherwise they're just going to have to go at this point. And then this is my final stack. These are kind of all just a bit random. So I've got, let's start with these ones. This is a little duology that I have, and I've had these for a while now. And the first one actually was on the TBR graveyard, but I've just put them both together anyway. But we have Jurassic Park and The Lost World by Michael Crichton. I absolutely love Jurassic Park, the movies. Some of my all-time favourite movies. And I'm obviously, normally, in most cases, the book is usually better than the movie. But I've heard a few people say after reading these, they prefer the movie still. And I don't know, like, there's kind of quite a lot. I think I tried to start reading this one, and there's a lot of kind of sciencey stuff. at the beginning, and I think that kind of, it put me off a little bit because it was just a bit too much for my brain to take at that time. But the writing is so tiny, guys, as well, and I think that's what puts me off as well. So I think potentially these actually might end up being maybe 2 that I either unhaul or DNF, depending on how I feel. These are the most likely candidates I'm going to predict for that. Everything else, I'm pretty sure I will actually read or try to read, you know. Then the next one, again, this is 2 books. This is part of a series. This is book 1 and 2. And this is the Detective Gabby Darren series. And it's by Jenny O'Brien. So I've got Silent Cry, which is book 1. And Darkest Night, which is book 2. And these both look relatively kind of short. They're like less than are they about 300 pages? Yeah, they're literally less than 300 pages. And I remember picking these up in the works years ago. The first one says A Missing Baby, A Mother's Nightmare. And the second one says A Dead Woman, An Impossible Crime. And that's it. That's kind of all they say. I know there's more in this series, but I physically only own the first 2. So obviously, if I like the series, I will continue. But they've been on a long time now. You can see they're quite battered. So we just need to get to them. And then again, these 2 are part of a series. These are by Mark. This is by Mark Billingham. It's the Tom Thorne series, I believe. So this is the first one, and this one is called Sleepyhead. And then, so this is book 1, and then I own book 3, which is Lazy Bones. So there's one in between. So if I like this one enough, I'll read the second one from somewhere else, or try and get it from the library or something. And then I'll read this one. If I'm not too fast when I read this one, then I won't bother with this one. That's kind of the way I see it in my head. And then I have, again, this is the first book in a series. Even though I don't really want to be starting I don't want to be starting any more series this year because I'm in the middle of so many already. But I need to get some of these books off my TBR. It's as simple as that. So this is the Ruth Galloway... Dr. Ruth Galloway mystery series by Ellie Griffiths, and the first one is called The Crossing Places. Again, this is relatively short, less than 300 pages. And yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I've seen a lot by this author, especially on like the library and the borrow box and like on stuff like that. And I think there's quite a few in this series. So I'm hoping that I enjoy the first one. And again, I think I've got this on the library as an audiobook. So that might help and be easier for me to get through some of these. And then these last 5, these are all, I'm pretty sure these are all just standalones. So we have The Flip Side by James Bailey. This was on a recent TBR and I just never got to it. Again, this is just a little one that I picked up from the works. And I think it says, who says you can't leave love up to chance? And in this we're following, I think the reason I picked it up is because we're actually following a male main character. And this is written, I'm presuming, James Bailey. So it's a completely kind of different perspective. And it obviously looks like a bit of a romance book. So, or it's got a romance element to it, I'm presuming. So yeah, it kind of, yeah, it's a romantic comedy, because it's blurbed by Miranda Dickinson, and she's put amazing, joyous, like finding yourself in the middle of the warmest, funniest, most amazing romantic comedy you've ever come across. And then some of the other ones say a fresh, funny, feel-good read, adorable and romantic, I feel uplifted. That's why I picked it up. I need more uplifting books like that, clearly. To sort of go in between all of the crime and the dark sort of thrillery stuff that I read. So that was the idea, I think, behind me picking that up. But I have had that for a while now. Then I have, and again, this one I'm not 100% sure about, but I've got The Little Beach Street Bakery by Jenny Colgan. And I've got, I think I've got 1 or 2 other Jenny Colgan books that are Christmas books on my shelves. Now, I recently tried to read a Jenny Colgan book. I think it was a few months back now when I did my second episode of TBR Graveyard. And the writing was fine. The writing, I was like, yeah, I could definitely see myself enjoying some of like a different book. But the particular book I picked up just wasn't for me. I just wasn't gelling with the characters and I was so bored. So I DNF'd it. But I'm hoping that this one is going to be better. So I'm giving her a second chance. And then obviously, if I sort of do this one and I don't enjoy it, I'll have a rethink about the Christmas ones of hers that I have as well. And maybe I'll get rid of those as well. Who knows? Again, this one, I think I hauled this this year or like end of last year. I can't quite remember. So this one's still this is not too old. But I've got The Happy Hour by Cressida McLaughlin. I'm sorry if I'm saying that very wrong. And it says, can they fall in love 60 minutes at a time? So this obviously, I don't know, it says, is 1 hour a week enough time to fall in love? Yeah, so this just looks like a cute summery kind of romance, and that's why I picked it up. And I've heard good things about Cressida McLaughlin, and I've seen a lot of people like her writing. And Kirsty Greenwood blurred this saying, bursting with warmth and wit. Great, love that. And then the final 2 books we have, this one is a Stranger Things novel. So this is Darkness at the Edge of Town by Adam Christopher. And this, I think we're obviously following Hopper. And it's, on the back it says, his last big case before everything changed. And we're sort of, I think we're following 2 timelines. So it's got on the back like Hawkins 1984, which is when he's kind of just adopted 11. And then I'm presuming it's going to be like, I think it says here she finds a box marked New York, and then she starts asking him loads of questions. And so the other part of the timeline is obviously New York City, 1977, when he was obviously a cop in New York. So that's where this one's going to go. I don't know what to expect from this one. I read Suspicious Minds, which is the other Stranger Things novel. I read that this year and I quite enjoyed that. I gave it 4 stars. But in that one we were following Dr. Brennan when he was like first starting out, and we was following Eleven's mum and how she met Dr. Brenner and how she came, to be, and how he ended up with 11 and so on and so on. And I quite enjoyed that. I gave that one 4 stars. And as much as I love Hopper, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this book. So how long is this one actually? This one looks a little bit longer. I think this one's a bit longer than the other one. Yeah, this one's like over 400 pages. Okay, fine. We'll see how we go with this one. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to feel, but I'm going to give it a go. And hopefully, purely because it's Stranger Things, I will love it. And then the final one that I've added on is Witch Hunt by Sid Moore. And this one says, uncovering this secret could lead to a witch hunt. To find the truth, she'll risk her life. This is set in, I think it's Essex. And I'm not exactly sure what it's about, but it gives me very kind of atmospheric, kind of a little bit dark, creepy, that kind of vibe. And it's obviously to do with witches, and I love anything to do with witches. So there we go, there you have it. So those are all the books that we now have. I will start this probably from like the 1st of July. So from July 2025 all the way around to almost July 2026. We've got a year to read all of these books. How many do we actually have? 1, 2, 3. We've got 23 this time. So 3 less than last time. And hopefully we're going to do a lot better, and we're going to complete more than 4. I'm looking forward to most of these, I think. So I reckon we're going to have a much better success rate at this stack. But that is everything from me. Those are all the books that are in my self-destruct TBR now moving forward. And let me know, is this something you guys would do? Like, do you have any books that you're going to put on your self-destruct TBR? And have you read any of these? Tell me if there's any that you're like, yeah, I think you'll really like that, or, that I should prioritise and start with first. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Chat to me in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I would love to have you here. So stick around, and I will see you guys in whatever comes next.